What's up guys, here we are at 600,000 subscribers. The journey to get here was not easy, and I'm sure that you guys would like to know how I got to where I am today, and it will show you exactly how much you guys have changed my life. So to thank you for 600,000 subscribers, I'm going to draw my life. We're going to skip the part of how it was made and move on to the next sequence. It all started when I was just a little Cam. By the way, Cam is not my real name is Chris. I was born and raised a Christian. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters, Jeffrey, Robert, that's me right in the middle, Carrie, and my half-sister Amy. My parents divorced when I was 8, and my mom took on the incredibly difficult task of raising 4 children as a single mother. So my mom had to go get a job so that she could support us. And don't worry, that arrow doesn't mean that Amy died, okay? It just means that she moved out. But anyways, my mom told me that she remembered leaving for work in the morning and looking back at the house to see my little brother Jeffrey watching her leave and crying. He was the only one who was too young to go to school, so he had to stay home, which must have been really lonely. Not having a dad in our life affected each of us differently. I used to think that it hadn't affected me, but as I grew up I started to notice flaws in my character that had resulted from not having a dad. In high school I had a low self-confidence. Anything negative people would say to me, I took to heart. I was really tall and skinny in high school, and people would call me twig and things like that. It affected me so much I would wear a sweatshirt even on hot days so that people wouldn't see how skinny I was. I wasn't a nerd though, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing to be a nerd. If you're a nerd, represent that shit. Remember, it doesn't matter what people think. I got a lot of popularity because I started skating with my brothers and my neighbor Steven before high school. That's pretty much all we did every day after school, and we got really good, and we met a lot of people because of it. But anyways, as I started reaching the end of high school, I had to start thinking of what I wanted to do with my life. This is probably one of the hardest things to do in life, and honestly, I didn't even have the slightest idea. One day a couple of my friends decided to take the ROP automotive class together, and I decided to join them. I had so much fun in that class. The teacher was so legit. We would go off-roading in my friends' trucks during our breaks. We didn't go off-roading in my car because I had a lower Camaro, and we all know that just, wouldn't work. Although I did go off-roading in my mom's minivan once. Don't tell her I did that. Oh wait, she's probably gonna watch this video. I love you, Mom. But anyways, besides learning how to drift in a minivan, that class showed me that I really love everything to do about cars. So after high school, I decided to pursue my love for cars and went to UTI with a couple of my friends. No, UTI does not stand for urinary tract infection. It stands for Universal Technical Institute. This was a year-long trade school where they taught me how to repair cars and even make them perform better. UTI was about 2 hours away, and class started at 6 o'clock a.m., so I had to get up really early every morning, which completely drained me. When I got home from school, I literally had no energy to do anything except sit on the couch, watch TV, and play games on my phone. The game I was playing at the time was called Battle Nations. One day I was playing Battle Nations and I saw a Clash of Clans ad and downloaded the game. I think this was about 2 months after the game came out, and the highest Town Hall level was Town Hall 8. But anyways, once I graduated UTI, I started looking for jobs in the automotive field. Do you know what they told me when I tried to get those jobs? You need on-the-job experience to work here. Okay, how am I supposed to get experience if nobody will hire me without experience? So I gave up. Luckily for me, my mom worked at the local magazine and had a lot of connections, so I got a job with a construction company. Yeah, lots of fun, digging dirt and pouring concrete. Thank God that part didn't last long. A couple weeks later, I think they saw potential in me, so they put me with their electrical guy, a short little guy named Epi. The first 6 months, everything was great. I was learning a lot of electrical, and I was having so much fun doing it that I decided to start pursuing that career. Epi and I became pretty good friends as well, or so I thought. After those first 6 months, everything changed. Epi told me he was not going to teach me anymore because the boss wasn't paying him to teach me. I think it was totally different than that though. Epi started seeing how quickly I was picking things up, and he started to worry that I could take his job. And I was even taking electrical classes so that I could learn more. As you probably could have guessed, since I had to figure out how to do things on my own, I started making mistakes. And with each mistake, Epi got more and more angry with me. And where were the bosses in all of this? I don't know. I told them, but they didn't want to pay Epi more to teach me. Epi became such an asshole. Whenever I made mistakes, he would yell at me. In front of our coworkers, in front of customers. It gave me so much anxiety that I couldn't think straight, and that caused me to make even more mistakes. Epi seriously hated me so much. Let's put a pause on that lovely part of my life for a moment and start talking about some good things that were happening in my life at that time. Because of the anxiety, when I got home from work every day, I did not want to do anything except sit on the couch and play, guess which game? Yeah, Game of War. No, I'm just kidding. Clash of Clans. Every day I would go home and play Clash of Clans for hours until it was time for bed. This is where YouTube came into my life. It's really weird though because I never really watched YouTube, so honestly, how YouTube even crossed my mind, I have no idea, literally none. But I started making Clash of Clans videos, not very often, maybe like once every 2 weeks. Another thing I really needed in my life at that point were friends. But after losing all contact with my friends from school and work being so difficult, I had no energy to go and meet new friends. Then one night, my friend Sarah from high school invited me to go and hang with her and her friends. They were playing Capture the Flag right up the street from my house. This is where I met the legendary group of friends known as BNP. We didn't hang out much at first, maybe like once or twice a month, but when we did, we had so much fun. We went on adventures to the beach, scary houses, and things like that. Months later, Kara, her sister Nana, and I started hanging out daily, and the others would hang out with us a lot too. My favorite and most memorable experience I had with BNP would definitely have to be boogie boarding in the school's football field. One time, it rained so hard that the football field flooded with just enough water so that we could basically skim right over it on a boogie board. It was awesome. Then one night, we were all laying on the trampoline looking up at the stars, and Nana rolled over and put her hand on my chest, and it was right then where I realized that I really liked her. We started dating in secret because we didn't want to change the dynamics of our group. When we were all watching movies, Nana and I would hold hands under the blanket, and when someone would sit between us, we both would get upset, but there was nothing we could do about it. It took them a while to find out, and it was a little different at first, but eventually everything returned back to normal. So although I had a shitty job with this shitty coworker, I had this amazing group of friends and a girlfriend to help me get through it. But let's get back to this shitty job with this shitty coworker. I was always hoping that my situation at work would get better. I always tried to be nice to Epi even though he treated me like shit, but no matter how hard I tried to make less mistakes and to be nice to Epi, everything just kept getting worse. I worked there for a year and a half and then I finally snapped. I could no longer take it. I made my final mistake and Epi started yelling at me, telling me I was stupid and I would be working here with this shitty construction company for the rest of my life. So I called the boss and told him, that's it. I quit. So what happens now? I thought to myself. At that point, I had about 2,000 subscribers on YouTube. I started researching and found out that you can make money on YouTube, so I got partnered with the network that I thought to be the best based off of my research, and I started making money. Barely anything actually, but I knew that I had the potential to succeed, and if I worked hard enough, I could make it happen. For the next few weeks after quitting my job, I felt so relieved. I enjoyed it so much. Waking up in the morning, chilling on the couch with my phone and laptop making Clash of Clans videos. The best part about it was not having anyone telling me that I'm a piece of shit and can't do anything right. So I asked my mom if I could just focus on my YouTube channel and not worry about having to find a job, and she said yes. A month went by and my channel was growing, but it was pretty slow, and I still wasn't making enough money to pay for the things I needed. Then one day I was chilling on my couch making a YouTube video and someone knocked on my door. So I got up wondering, who the fuck could that be? So I opened the door and it was my neighbor who happened to be an electrician. So I said, what's up? And he said that he knows that I haven't been going to work anymore and asked me if I wanted to work with him part-time. So I thought about it in my head and I was like, well, I have this YouTube thing. I'm not making much money though and I do love electrical work, so I think I'll be able to do both and that way I'll be getting some extra money. So I told him, yeah, that would be great. So he was like, cool, be over at my house at 9 tomorrow morning. At first it was great. He was actually teaching me and we were doing a lot more advanced shit. But then my anxiety started coming back. I felt like I wasn't good enough. Everything that Epi used to tell me was replaying back through my head, and I started making mistakes again. My neighbor was really cool though. He told me that he will get mad at me when I make mistakes, but he's not gonna fire me and he'll help me to get better. He was paying me really well too. But the anxiety never got better, and he started having me work with him more often, which gave me less time to make videos. At that time, my channel started really picking up. Before I knew it, I was at 10,000 subscribers. Work was really hard for me with my anxiety, so I came to a decision. I decided that I was going to quit working with my neighbor and focus full time on my channel. This was a huge risk though. I was only making about $150 a month from my channel, and if I quit working with my neighbor, I would be throwing out this huge opportunity for a career. I tried quitting 3 times. Each time my neighbor would talk me out of it. He kept telling me everything I already knew about how much of a huge opportunity he was giving me. The 3rd time I finally decided to go through with it. It was a really hard decision, but no matter how hard my neighbor tried to persuade me otherwise, I finally quit. So I was able to focus full time on my channel, but there was still one problem. My mom was going through the exact same shit at her job as I was at my old job with the construction company. Her bosses didn't think much of her, even though she was their top sales rep for over 10 years. They stole from her, treated her like shit, and made her feel exactly the way Epi made me feel. She would come home from work and tell me all the horrible things she went through to make it through the day, and the really bad news was that she hadn't saved up anything for retirement. All of her money went into taking care of her 4 children. I mean, she has dedicated her whole life to taking care of me and my siblings, and that honestly meant so much to me, so I told her, I'm gonna get you out of today. So here we are, 590,000 subscribers later. My mom no longer has to work at that shitty job. She was finally able to tell them, I quit. The words she has been wanting to tell them for years. She doesn't like that I'm using my money to take care of her, but honestly, she deserves it. All those years where she would wake up in the morning thinking, I don't want to go to work, but all those years she got up out of bed and went to work so that she could take care of her children. And for that, I'm truly happy to take care of her as she did for me. So if there's anything that you guys can learn from my story, don't listen to those people in your life who tell you you can't. Epi told me I would be working at that construction company for the rest of my life, and I bet you that he is still there. You are 100% capable of accomplishing your dreams. You just have to reach out there and grab them. Don't wait around hoping that things are going to change, because you have to make the first step and take those risks. Now the story is to be continued. I really enjoy making people laugh to help brighten up their day even though they've had a bad one. I do enjoy making Clash of Clans videos, but Clash of Clans won't last forever. But I assure you that my channel will continue, and I will keep doing my best to keep those smiles up. Now you guys know me a lot better, and I'm really glad that you are here on this journey with me. Let's keep writing this story together. But anyways, that's it for now, and I will see you next time.